Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This is a whole hour of Santa Barbara teen athletes. And all those people. I like that. Let's keep doing that. I like that. Yay. Wow. Look at that. So musically inclined.
I think school is in session.
That's it. We have all those people in businesses.
I miss those school bells.
When Brian Falk turns up, he hasn't been here. Is it Doctor yet?
Something like that.
Did you finish?
I'm editing still.
You're still editing.
I didn't do very good on my last chapter, so I have to edit. That's part of writing. Every book that's published, you know how many copies and versions they did? A lot.
Yeah.
I'm finding that out.
Are you last chapter?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just editing.
Ooh.
I'm editing. So.
Wow, Dominique's jump. She's like, I want to talk to him now. Okay.
It's really great that Erica Salda is not your publishing agent.
Why?
Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Are we done yet?
Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Let's get it out there.
Exactly.
Come on, let's just distribute it. Get it out there.
But I say, because then I have another idea. But so even when she's done.
You want to do next one? What are you doing
exactly.
next? Come on,
See,
what do you got?
like, oh, yeah. That's it.
What? 2020,
Exactly.
2022. It's on the schedule. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. So what is there going to be? You don't do that, right? Put out a date? Actually, I think you said.
So what happens is after it goes through proofreading, then I have to set up what's called a dissertation oral defense, which I get grilled by my professors, and then that's the kind of the official mark of the completion of the dissertation. I think graduation's in May. So
maybe he should introduce again what his books
Oh yes,
about.
what are we even talking about? Yeah,
it's been quite a while.
I'm finishing up at Pacifica Graduate Institute. It's a PhD program in depth psychology with an emphasis in somatic studies, and my research is on meaningful sense aromas.
And somatic pertains to?
Oh, somatic meaning the lived experience of the body. As it's experienced from the inside.
I love Michael Baker's. Look at this MB.
I actually majored in that too. Yeah.
You met your wife there.
On the roof. I remember. On the roof of the class. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
Special time.
She was escaping.
I thought he said nomadic studies.
Yeah,
nomadic. It's appropriate because we're kind of all wanderers
on the move.
here. You know,
nice.
Bust a move guy, right?
Yes, I love
Michael.
it. Love it.
Don't just stand there.
Could you tell me just real quickly on somatic studies, how new in the world of depth psychology is that body of wisdom? Because it's a very interesting approach of studying the body and studying our human experience.
It's extremely new. In fact, there's only one other program in the whole country that has those two together. I think the other one's in Naropa in Colorado, as far as I know. Somatics on its own has only been around, let's say, as a established discipline for the last maybe 30 or 40 years. That includes Feldenkrais and a lot of the body therapy that we're used to. And then only maybe in the last 20 years has it started to be combined with more psychology stuff. But you can go back to the early part of the century with Wilhelm Reich, who studied under Freud, who was starting to take a lot of the stuff they learned about psychology and use the body and its symptoms as a starting point. So it's been around for a while, but as an established field, not that long.
Yeah, so I just found out from a doctor friend of mine that our body's awareness, that even if we're not conscious of something, our body can be conscious of it. Mm-hmm. So in regards to sports and healing, we have to actually integrate what our intellect is telling us and what our body is telling us.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the program of depth psychology recognizes the existence of the unconscious, and there's also somatic unconscious. In fact, that's happening all the time. We don't really know what our liver is doing, what our spleen and kidney and pancreas, all these things going on in our brain. We're not aware of that, but it's happening, right? And our bodies are picking up all kinds of information, just as our psyches are constantly. We're monitoring the environment, taking in information that we're only aware of maybe just a fraction of it. Even what's going on internally, we push things down as what's called repression, when we're not even aware of that we're doing that. If we repress a laugh, let's say we're conscious of that, we don't want to laugh in class because you're getting in trouble, or you're embarrassed about letting some gas out, so you consciously squeeze that. That's the type of shutting down. But that's happening most of the time unconsciously. So that happens with our body as well as our thoughts and feelings.
Well, I don't know about you. I get a report every night, a completely detailed report about how everything's functioning. You don't get that?
Where do you get that report?
By the way, shifting gears. Kinesiology is part of that too, because it's like the unconscious, if you will, body knows what is best for you. There's a technique, for example, where you take your thumb and your forefinger and you take your other hand and you create a link and you say yes and no and pull. And usually with no, it comes apart, and yes, it stays together. And then you test things. And that's, to me, that's part of that whole process of knowing what is best for you. Maybe celery isn't the best for me, but cucumbers are. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really about paying attention. It's about paying attention to what your experience is from the inside of the body, what your stomach feels like. You feeling, nervous or tingly or hot or cold or heavy or light. All these sensations as experts on the inside of the body. So when we're doing just manual manipulation, I'm looking at you, that's the third person, but the somatic would be what you experience from within in the first person. How does your low back feel right now sitting in this chair? Is it tight? Is it relaxed? Is it comfortable? Are you tensing unnecessarily? We're not usually aware of how we're sitting in the chairs right now, right? We're talking and we're in our heads usually. But what are your feet doing? What are your knees doing? It's really becoming in tune with what's going on. So any type of therapies that is guiding somebody into that space. You were talking about muscle testing. Yeah. That's bringing somebody's awareness into their own body, and that's all it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to absorb all this. So you meet somebody for the first time, and you get this weird feeling, whether it doesn't matter what kind of feeling it was. So it depends upon how you map the world. Like if you ask somebody, goes, a person would say, I like this person, I don't like this person. So the whole thought and the feeling of that person, is that coming from the unconscious? Do you feel, how you map the world? Do you think that comes more of an unconscious, or do you believe that, it's some kind of past life thing where you have a connection with that person, regardless if it's a plus or a minus, or do you think it's a vibration between two beings? Yeah. Like, how do you feel about all that kind of stuff?
All of it.
All
or
together?
Some of it. All of it. I mean, the conscious and unconscious are going on all the time. We're aware of certain things. We're aware of somebody's words and what they're saying. We're aware of our own words. And then there's all the stuff below the surface that we're not necessarily conscious of, but we're picking up. Right. And so when you're talking about subtle body language, like you're in a situation and you just don't feel right, something feels off or weird or scary or uncomfortable, but you can't say exactly why. You get tingles on your body. You don't necessarily know what's going on, but something is you're picking up stuff. We're doing that all the time. So when you're meeting a person, you're consciously assessing them out, like, what's their job? How tall are they? Are they married? All these things that are going on in your mind. And then you're picking up all kinds of other things, how they smell, the vibration of them, their tone of voice, these more subtle aspects. Now, when you get into the past life, now you're into metaphysics, and that's a whole nother realm. You could speculate that. But my own personal feeling is that all that is potentially going on all at one time. So it makes it nice and complicated.
Some people say that empaths, or people who are empathic, have an easier time of reading people that come into their life. And what I was curious about is, does empathy increase an athlete's ability to do well in sports?
Does empathy increase an athlete's ability to do well in sports? I like that question.
That's your next
Let's ponder
PhD.
that over the break.
Yeah, let's do that. We can do that. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that. We got to think about that one.
Well, we got MB in the house. We've got Alexandria Marx, and she's got to make an announcement because, you texted me and you got to do a little announcement before we go to break. You want to leave it or you want to save a break?
It's up to you.
I want to do it now.
Okay.
I don't want to do it later. I want to do it now.
Okay. Well, I was one of 5 people, I guess, that I've heard from my school that have gotten into Berkeley early.
Berkeley.
Yeah.
How easy school to get into.
That's exciting.
Splash one.
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't going there. But thank you, Berkeley.
Yeah. So I'm really excited.
It's an honor.
Eased a lot of my anxiety.
Yes.
And I have an interview next week for a scholarship.
It's nice when you have something in the bag.
Yeah.
Well, plus the fact that at least now you got someplace you can go when, your folks are expecting you to go.
Yeah. Well, they want me to stay. So
this cool school in Montecito called Westmont. I'm just saying.
But more important than that, there's a really cool school, literally cool because it's so cold there right now, in Albany, New York. And I know that is.
There we go.
I know.
You could probably be valedictorian there.
Already.
She's laughing.
Amazing.
Look at that. Right now. You could be valedictorian right now. You'd probably graduate in half the time. I bet you if you put your mind to it, you could do anything.
Go to commercial.
All right, let's do that. We've got a great show today, folks. Stay tuned for more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
Let's do that one more time.
Every single Tuesday.
Yeah, I like that. Awesome.
Nice.
That's the Albany cheer.
That is
Right,
great
Great
days.
dudes.
Remember, our motto at Albany, and all of our sports teams, because we're the Great Danes, and our colors are purple and gold, they say real dogs bleed purple. There's somebody driving right now that heard this is like, I cannot believe I'm not the only guy out here that went to Albany.
Yeah.
There you
we
go.
are.
There you go.
So there's someone else out there who's watching us.
And then this year is the year, because we have Chinese students, it is
That's
the year of the
right.
dog.
It is the year.
Yeah, the dog, the
It
Earth
all-
dog,
it all revolves
and that is
Chinese New Year.
And that's a Great Dane.
was on.
If you look at Earth dog in the Chinese dictionary, it says Great Dane. See Great Dane, it says.
Wait, what's your year?
61.
No, but
Oh,
what's your
ox. It fits.
Maybe
I know.
ox.
Metal. Iron.
I'm a dragon.
Iron. I
And
could
so is
see
my
that.
mom.
I could see that.
I'm a dragon too.
Oh.
A wood dragon. What kind of dragon are you?
I think I'm Earth. I don't know. Because I'm a Virgo.
Nice. There you go.
I don't even know
Capricorn.
what I am. I actually don't know.
You got to be an ox.
He has to look
I
into it.
probably am.
We'll Google. What's your date of
You ain't
birth?
nothing but a hound dog.
That's a good thing. Oxes are good. What's your date of birth?
What year?
July 67,
I'm telling everybody.
50.
67, July. We'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Let me know what.
We're Googling it as we
It'll
speak.
explain a lot.
I know.
It certainly will.
Michael, guess what I have for you?
Uh-oh.
I
That's
see
never good.
paper.
I know, lots of these. Okay,
a
so
notepad.
I have a guy, his
So you
name
can
is
take notes.
Jack. For like 15 years, he works and raises money for the Sheriff's Association. And this year, because he's not from here, because, they raise money. And, it was, Dominique was with me. We were getting coffee. We were on the way to Sunburst, right?
Yes.
That was that Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So he calls, and I've been horrible, because I usually, take care of this earlier. And I said to him, hey, I don't know if you realize, but, this is Santa Barbara. I'm so sorry, because, of course I support the sheriffs. And my goodness, please don't tell the sheriffs that I've been like the last Louis on this. I want the sheriffs to like Erica. So anyway, but then I was thinking on it. I go, something, you've always done really good by me. So Jack, I told you we had the fire. He goes, yes. So I threw in extra 25 tickets. And I said, Jack, did you hear about the flood? Okay. You know what I mean? So anyway, Jack, I love you. And for, next year, because ePro did well this year, but next year we will definitely, I don't think have as much, but I won't spare any more. But I got these 100 tickets for you.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah. So
Thank
it's for
you.
it's a magic show.
That is really
So
cool.
yeah, so those kids will use it. Well,
Absolutely.
yeah. So anything.
Kids and their parents can go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, those are the tickets. There you go. Can you give one to Berkeley over here? Because,
Now,
do you want to go?
Where are you going to go to college?
Yeah. So you have
Say
a
it.
friend? Do you have one friend?
I don't know there, though. I don't know if I'm
You
going
say
have
the
one
right thing and
friend.
you get 2 tickets.
Yeah,
Where you
yeah.
going to
Albany.
There it is.
There you go. Yay! Do you have a brother
you
or
so
sister?
much.
You got somebody, don't you?
Your friends?
Yeah.
So I don't have any siblings.
You go to
That's
Albany,
right.
you have a lot of friends.
Only, but you have friends.
I don't have any friends either.
Just kidding.
That's a really big assumption to
I
make.
know,
of me.
yeah, no, get
Nice.
out of here. Well, she's a lawyer. She's not supposed to have friends.
Oh, nice.
I'm telling you, she's a ringer too.
You're gonna-
Not
she's
just
great.
the lawyer, she's a lawyer.
You're going to make such a good board member for the Boys and Girls Club when you move back here.
Exactly.
You're going to be really good.
Environmental. I'm
Awesome.
seeing
We need it.
environmental. Environmental would be a good thing
Birth
for you.
of the we're the birthplace of the environmental movement.
Yes.
We are. Not Albany. I'm just Santa Barbara.
Yeah, Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
It is.
Absolutely.
It really
Earth
is.
Day.
It really
It
is.
is. Earth Day.
It did, absolutely.
Right.
But 1970, right?
Yeah. How do you know so
69.
much? You've only been here 3 years.
I listen.
Oh,
I've been married for a long time. I learned to listen very well.
Exactly.
At least my wife tells me that.
There you go.
I understand you met your wife at one of those oil platforms.
I met her at Earth Day. Actually,
yeah.
1970. She was
On an oil
4.
platform, yeah.
I was 3.
Or was it the buoy? You were stuck and she came out on a kayak and said,
I
hey,
was covered in oil. It was horrible.
I was covered in
hose you
was
down
covered in
with
oil.
Dawn dish soap and
Yeah, she
scrubbed you down.
Yeah.
She followed the pelicans.
That's
Oh, my
right,
God.
exactly.
Oh my
That's it.
God!
It was awesome.
I'm so I'm in so much trouble.
Yes, you are.
Listen, you've had a couple of fun. I would say fun because this is the show and everything about this because we are for profit, but we try to raise money for all of our friends, and you're definitely MB, one of our friends. Has that stuck yet? MB, not yet. Okay,
yeah,
we're working it. It's MB.
No, MB,
that's it. I like it. Okay, good. I want to make sure that's my new thing. Okay, so where are we at? We tell the story about. I mean, if you haven't heard, okay, so do the Camp Whittier. Tell the story exactly how you told me. I mean, I was shocked. I had no idea. I knew that a structure burned, but I didn't know the whole. See, I didn't know that. Okay,
we lost 4 bunkhouses. We lost our maintenance shed.
Okay.
As I said to you a couple times ago, but just to recap very quickly, I've been working with the clubs for almost 30 years. The last 7 months, my career, have been the hardest 7 months of my life in Boys and Girls Club work. However, they've also been some of the most rewarding opportunities because this community has been so supportive. We've had curveball after curveball thrown our way. We started with the flood in Carp with the roof. That was January of last year. Then we had the fire at Camp Whittier in July, completely shut down the camp. And the challenge we run in with that is our camp is a revenue maker for our organization, generates significant revenue, which helps offset the individual clubs because the clubs don't make a profit. That's not how we're set up. So that dried up completely.
Then you had mentioned these camps. You had to not only, not the net loss, but you had to refund. People don't understand.
We had people that book camps, and as we're set up as a business, as the money comes in, we're using it to pay bills. We don't have the luxury of saying, okay, you're going to do a camp, you're booking it in April, and you're going to have a camp in August, and it's $10,000. Okay, we're going to put that aside, and we're not going to touch. We use it right away, and it's worked out well for us. It hasn't been an issue. But when the fire happened, and we could no longer operate the camp, all those camps that are prepaid had to be refunded. Insurance doesn't cover that, so that was a challenge. But we got through it. Like you would tell your son Johnny, it's a curveball. Wait on it, take it to right field, right? So we've been waiting on him, and we've been taking them all to right field. And that's been a significant challenge. And then, coupled with that, we started to get through that, and we have the Boy Scouts now operating out of Camp Whittier. They lost their camp completely. Rancho Alegre is gone. They lost their camp, and they've been operating out of the Boys and Girls Club Camp Whittier, which has been a nice partnership. Then you have the Thomas Fire. And that impacted our Carp Club because Carp was in the evacuation zone, and we got a little bit of damage there. Nothing from the fire, nothing from the flood, but we got some smoke damage. We had to do some special cleanup there. But we got a call the day that the schools closed. We weren't planning on opening early. We weren't. But I got a call from the school district saying, we're closing schools. Are the clubs going to be open? Because the parents had to work. It was 2 weeks away from Christmas. They need to make all the money they can to buy gifts. So we ended up opening early. We didn't charge any money for that. We didn't have money to do it. So we ended up doing that, extending our hours, busing kids from all the areas that were closed. And so that was it. But again, the worst thing we could have done is say, we can't do this right now. We just got to hunker down, do the best we can. We expanded our services. And what I'm happy to report to you today, that you didn't know this, I'm going to tell you right now, I found out today, we actually applied for some funding from the Thomas Fund, Relief Fund that United Way set up, and we were awarded funding today because of the efforts that we did. And that's exactly. And I said to you, I don't know where the money's going to come from. It's the right thing for us to do, but I know the community's going to rally and support us because it's the right thing to do. And there's a perfect example. United Way helped and said, we're going to help you. I got a call today from Steve Ortiz to tell me the money you applied for, you guys are getting. I was like, I knew it happened, but wow. God bless you, because it's now it allows us to continue to do what we're doing.
Can I ask you a quick question
Sure.
about Camp Whittier? So what were the activities that the kids were doing up at Camp Whittier? In other words, were they accessing the lake? Were they doing learning to shoot bow and arrows? I mean, what kind of activities?
Sure. Yeah, we have the largest zip line on the West Coast is what I've been told. I couldn't believe that, but we have that there, as well as we can accommodate about just under 200 people overnight. We have a lot of 6th grade science camps that go up there and use the camp. We have archery, hiking trails, outdoor pool. There's tennis courts. There's basketball courts. I mentioned the hiking trails. There's just a lot of. It's really beautiful, but there was a lot of damage to the trails.
Yeah.
Because we lost hundreds of trees gone. they burned in the fire. But it could have been so much worse at our camp. And the two people I really want to give credit to, and Eric has heard me say this before, but it really is important. This is a perfect example of when you have the right people working for you, it makes all the difference in the world. Todd and Jenny Stepien, who are our camp directors, literally 1 month before the fire happened, just casually called me up and said, hey, I think we should probably do some fire abatement work. And we're going to have it. I said, well, if you guys think we need to do it, go ahead and do it. We paid $1,200 to get some fire abatement work where they cut the low-lying brush. And the person that was in charge of the fire, dealing with the fire, when he gave me the tour, he told me, had you not done that, you would have lost your entire camp.
Wow.
You would have lost everything. You would have lost every one of these buildings. And I thought, I still get goosebumps thinking about that because it was just amazing. But that's an example of the right people.
About the zip line.
Yeah.
I have been asking for a zip line on the ocean side of the mountain to get down off of the hill rather than in a car. And I want to know when.
We're working on that fund. It's on my list of A to Z. It's definitely it's close. Yeah. It's really important. We're working on it though, Doc. We're working on that.
Next section, we're going to get to know your guests. But who'd you bring today?
I brought a very special staff member of the Boys and Girls Club.
Nice.
Miss Amy Brooks.
Nice.
Amy created an inclusion program for our members.
Beautiful.
At the Boys and Girls. I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get back.
You're awesome. You got it. I don't even need to cue you or anything. You just know. It's just because I looked at my coffee cup. It's empty, so it's just time for everybody to top it off.
Coffee?
Coffee. There you go.
Okay.
Everybody time to fill up your coffee. All right, let's take a break. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Team. We'll be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
Alexandria, you know where else you can find us?
Yeah. Hey, so caught off guard there. Okay. AM 1290.
That's it.
Teensportsradio.com.
Good.
Teen Sports Radio on Facebook.
Good.
Teen Sports Radio on Instagram. Teen Sports Radio on all of Erica's websites that she has.
Are we dropping Twitter bombs too?
Teen Sports. No Twitter. No Twitter. Erica doesn't do Twitter. What am I missing?
I think you got
Instagram.
She said that.
You got it.
Said it. Okay, bam.
Echo. Oh, we did it. I'm so happy.
Wait, and Erica, I'm going to throw it back at you.
All you could ever do on it.
What times do we air?
We got Tuesday morning, that's like now.
9
and then at 9, 11 at night on Tuesday, Sunday, and Monday.
Sunday at
3
p.m.
3 p.m. And then Monday, that's
Morning at
Terry Cooper's favorite, 3 a.m. That's what piece of pie. It's called a piece of pie hour.
It's pie time.
Pie time. That's
Listen
it.
to it then.
That's it.
Good
Loves
time.
pie.
Good times.
Sadly, I kept a cherry pie a little too long, had to throw it out. But I've actually saved money because I buy the half pies. You know how they sell the half pies in the stores now?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Which works out great. Sometimes I'll sit and eat the whole thing while I'm watching TV.
Doc, just so you know, if you eat 2 half pies, it's still a pie. You're still eating a pie.
But I only buy one.
Yeah,
pie
okay.
at a time.
Exactly.
I only buy 12 slices of pizza.
Brian, I got to say, during this, you know who the biggest voice you have right now is Terry Cooper. I mean, this woman loves you. So why don't you give her your contact information?
Oh, Miss
because
Terry Cooper.
She just loves you.
Yes.
And it took me like 2 years. To get to you. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
right?
Everyone has their own timeline
I
with
guess.
things, and
I was clearly not thinking
she was
I
on
was the
Fiji
right
time
messenger, I
apparently,
guess.
which is a little slower than our LA folks are on hyperdrive.
That's it.
I'm still in Carpinteria. You can reach me at 805-223-0915 downtown
Thank you.
Carpinteria. Thank
You're
you.
amazing. If any of you ladies out there, we're at that age, if you want to do the bloodletting, I'm just saying. I like the bloodletting.
That could be on any age or any gender.
Oh, and
it's not as scary as it sounds.
Oh no, it's wonderful.
You know.
I like it.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
I do. Look at Michael Bacon. That's the way you make
Bloodletting.
pie. Yes.
It's not as bad as you think. It's making a couple little pricks like you would on a diabetic or
okay.
and just squeezing out a little old dead blood.
Oh, I
That's all
remember
this.
doing
It's
that.
not.
Yeah,
It's not like
yeah.
it's not like pumping out a bunch of blood. It's just
I had this
pricking
shot.
little areas.
Sal
Yeah.
Rodriguez's sister,
Sounds worse than
Becky.
it is.
Yeah.
Her son, Marcos, he's got the barbershop. Well, he hit one about, 120 miles an hour. He used to play racquetball regularly, okay? And I caught one in the back of the leg, okay? Well, this thing is just never healed, all right? So it's like 90% gone right now because of Brian Falk!
Did we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
We let that baby out. That's
Nice.
it. I was
It's
just
so
like,
gratifying.
It is so wonderful. 'cause
The
I
body's
thought,
always
I mean,
making new blood, so you can
Yeah.
release a little bit of the old dead stuff out. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's healthy.
It just killed it.
That's
No,
all
it
varicose
doesn't
veins
hurt.
are, and
No, it's
spider.
good.
That's
Yeah,
what
just
spider
let it out.
veins are, by the way.
Yeah,
I
it's not
remember,
like
I remember you
next-
doing that.
Yeah,
talking about that.
it
That's
sounds
really
worse than it is. We got to figure out a different name
You don't
for
need
it.
surgery is all I'm saying. I have friends. I cannot tell you how many of my friends went in and had surgery. And I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. I'm
Painful,
not saying do it this way first and then if you want to. You know what I'm saying? I always go step A, B, C before I go to the D doctor. MD doctor.
There's different ways of
Yeah.
doing it.
So,
MD?
yeah, exactly. MB on the D. Yeah, I like that.
What I can.
So, okay, one more question, and
Sure.
I'm going to let you go to the guest. Okay, the roof. Do we got that roof done?
So, as I
Oh my God! The roof is still not done. Oh,
how
I'm
is it going to be done in 2 weeks?
Look at.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
So the last time we spoke, I told you that we were going to be we would be hearing soon from a major group, and I still cannot tell you who it is, but we have made it to the final phase, which is extremely promising.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's all I can say.
I think it's the Roofers Union of Albany.
That's Albany, New York, not Albany, Oregon.
Final stages. Well,
Can I get a Great
Almost
Danes?
We're getting there. We're
On
getting there.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Go Great Danes!
Great Danes.
Oh, my fellow Albanyites are loving that right there.
All right.
So who'd you bring?
So I brought Amy Brooks. Amy is our inclusion specialist. Let's give her a round of applause.
Welcome.
So Amy's been working at our Carp Club, and Amy, maybe you can talk a little bit about what you do at the Carp Club when you're working with the kids.
Sure. Okay. So I have been working at the Carp Club for about a year now. I went to Michael in November of last year, and I came with a job proposal for a company that I wanted to start called Different Dreamers, discovering what all can do, and I wanted to. My goal was to work with kids every day because I don't have my own children, but I really want to pour energy into them, and I want kids to realize early on in their life that everybody has a right to be included and everybody can enjoy having fun, and we all can work together. And I also believe that kids are our best teachers. And so when we teach children to include people and to be their best selves, then they are also teaching the adults in their lives, and we can all come together. So
So beautiful.
Maybe you could tell a little. What have you seen the difference in the kids at the club? What have you noticed since you started the program?
there's just a couple stories. We did have a 6-week program already in the summer that went very well. We had different themes each week, and one theme week that went off really well with the kids was Upside Down Day. And so I'm from Ohio, so I saw snow all the time and couldn't get out of there fast enough. But the kids here in California love the idea of snow, so we had
This is true.
yeah.
What is that?
Right. So we had shaving cream balloons, and we filled them up and then had a snowball toss with that. And then another day we had Animal Day, and we played Hungry Hungry Hippos in the gym. Big adult size, or the kid size, with the scooters and everything. The most important part about my program is that we don't really do that much different than we would do if it was just any kid coming in the club. Just if there are needs where we have one, and hopefully we'll have many more, but we have one young man that comes to the club pretty regularly, uses a wheelchair, so we find ways to easily adapt it so that he can play alongside the other children and not be on the sidelines watching, but be a part of it.
I think that's really cool, and I have to say that having come from the arena of primarily the blind and visually impaired, it's really been funny. My first wife was totally blind, and we would actually go to movies. And when I share that with people, what? Why would she go to a movie? She can enjoy a movie just like anybody else. It's like what you just said. You, for the young man, you adapted the game, the program, what have you, so that he could feel as just like a participant in what was going on in the place. And I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I got to tell you how important that is. Because growing up legally blind and not feeling included in the group, more because of the bullying than the blindness, because I was able to move about. I was bicycling to and from school. To feel that inclusion, that does so much for the self, if you will.
It sure does.
So again, my hats off to you. Applauds.
Thank you. And I just wanted to throw back to earlier we were talking about one of our co-hosts' work with the somatic symptoms and how we're feeling about things, and that makes me just think of we might not remember what people say to us in the words that they use, and especially our kids are going to school every day, but you're still going to remember 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, how something made you feel. And so we really want to make these people feel included.
Very good. Well said. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
When we include others, our heart grows, and it's just amazing. Happiness does not get depleted when you share it. It grows and grows.
Very good.
So there's an example of probably, if not one of the best hires I ever made.
Yes.
She's absolutely awesome, and what you're doing for the kids, it's not just for the kids that are. It's for all the children that come to the club. They're all learning from this, and they're all becoming better citizens as a result. And that wouldn't have happened had you not brought your proposal and came to the office. And man, it's been amazing.
Good on you.
Absolutely teamwork. Yeah, everybody is behind it, and so that's how it works when we all work together.
Very cool.
And you're going to go to a magic show with me too. So that's
All right.
Oh, everyone's going to go. We got 100 tickets. If you need more, I'll get more. How's that? That's not a problem. Let's take a break. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
All right, so what do we need to do? Do we need to help? How can we help? You know, I'm in a helpful mood right now.
There you go.
Amy, how can we help serve your program?
Yeah, just being here and being able to get the word out is a big, huge help. Currently, our program is running on Saturdays from 10:30 to 10 to 11:30, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, 10 to 11:30 on Saturdays.
Nice.
People are welcome to stay after and come before. That's just when the activities start.
Okay.
And then the kids will get membership cards, just like everybody that comes to the club. So, yeah, and
I think one of the goals, Erica, to support what Amy's saying, we'd really like to expand the program to Goleta.
Okay.
That's our next stop, Goleta. We have it in Carp, and our goal is to offer the program in Goleta and eventually at all of our clubs, because every one of the communities that we have kids with special needs,
Right. Yeah.
And we want to make sure that the program is there. So funding will help with that, of course.
Yes.
And so, Amy, this is going on at the Carp Boys and Girls Club
Yes.
with the skylight, right? MB?
Skylight.
With the skylight?
skylight.
The hole in the roof?
Oh, the hole in the roof. Thank you. Yes. I'm very familiar with that roof.
Okay.
Thank you.
Which will be repaired shortly.
It is going to be repaired shortly.
Right after these commercial messages from your local sponsors.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So how many can you take? How many do you have right now? Where are we at? Amy.
We right now they're at the peak of our summertime. I think we had 6 to 8 new kids.
Nice.
So kids who had not come before. I just need to feel that we have enough staff, and that can include volunteers that we'll be getting to. So if you know someone that would be interested in volunteering for this program, that would be helpful.
Community service hours.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Is there a training that needs to be done if somebody wanted to do that?
Well,
Do
they
need a
would-
training.
that's a great question, and
Thank you. Michael Baker, he handed me a card and he said, read this question. No.
Great. I could meet with people that were interested in volunteering, and we would figure out if that person had any experience or if they would need any training or what kind of training would make them feel comfortable. I really just want to meet the people where they're at and make sure that it's a good fit for both us and the volunteers. So
the first time I ever participated in the Challenger program, it was with my son Joe, the Bishop class. I think they were, I don't have to get my facts straight, but I think Redder will say that Bishop Diego was the first school that where it was all in, and it was a big, glorious event, newspaper, fire trucks, the whole thing. And then since that day, so my son's 26 right now. So since that day, it exploded. Now there isn't any organization that doesn't participate with the Challenger program, and it's as big as you can get. But I'll never forget, because my son participated in, because there was baseball fields and it was 3 different fields, and my son wanted to go to the most challenged of the challengers, and I was just like, with this one particular girl, and I knew who she was because it was through Hearts Adaptive, and the dad built this special box to go talk to the horse, so could move. And I mean, honestly, the only thing she can move is one finger, couldn't speak anything. But through the 2 years, she actually said a word, and it was one of the boys on the baseball team. Okay.
That's awesome.
And it was just like the joy, that the 2 families and everything. I mean, my MB, I'm not kidding, I just lost it. You know what I mean? Because you can't not get emotionally like that. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And my son, up until probably 2 years ago, opening day at the Challengers, he drives up here.
That's fantastic.
It's just something that stuck with him since a freshman in high school. And I'm like,
that's so
and then
cool.
he'd go up and then come back, because I'd be out of town. I'm like, the sighting, Joe Salda, the child, you don't even tell your mother, just say to your mom, you know what I mean? Because it makes me a big deal out of it. That's my son, you know what I'm saying? But there's certain, like you say, feelings, you grab those and it just leaves a mark. You know what I mean? And it's just to express yourself, And my oldest one is very shy. It's really funny.
Well, do we have time for a quick story?
Sure.
This fits in with inclusion.
Yeah. We got time.
We have time? You want me to show it for the next? Okay. This fits in with inclusion. It fits in with sports, African studies, and the first thing...
That's a trifecta.
Exactly. MB, you're here for this. And let's see. San Marcos is the Dons, right?
No, we're the Royals.
You're the Royals.
Royals.
Okay, and the Dons are...
She looks
Santa Barbara,
thoroughly
Santa
disgusted
Barbara.
that you thought
Okay.
they were the Dons.
Well, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Well,
She homeschooled her kids. Okay?
That's okay. It's okay.
She home birthed and homeschooled her kids. Everything's been at home.
That's okay.
And she had a Great Dane. So
There you go.
I grew up with Great Danes, actually. I'm not kidding you. I was in North Carolina. But one important thing, when we tell stories and we include people, those stories stay in our memory because of the feelings. And when you're able to add facts and figures, we're able to retain the facts and figures because of the feelings. Our memory kicks in. Well, anyway, this was, I'm always trying to find sports stories and so forth. I found a story back in 1951. So Wow, that's a long time ago. Okay.
I was just a thought.
University of San Francisco Dons. They got invited to the bowl game that year. And when they were invited, 2 African American players were not invited. Do you know that they did not go? And because they did not go, that affected African Americans being more included in sports.
You think the whole team didn't go?
The whole team did not go.
They made a statement instead.
They made a statement.
Two of our teammates aren't going. None of us are
not going. None of us are going.
1951?
1951.
That was way ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the curve. So what I'm trying to say is inclusion, participation in sports, having feelings for everyone as our brother and sister, we have a huge impact on society. And it is absolutely precious. So please, kids, go out for sports, participate in teams. It makes a difference.
And let everyone play. Everyone plays.
Yeah, I think people are definitely jumping on that train now a lot more. We've been having a lot of discussions about that, but technology's really allowed people to get more access to other people's perspectives, and just there's such a movement right now on trying to be inclusive and trying to really value everybody's opinion. So I think we're getting there.
Well, I've always liked United for that reason, because when I started coaching, right when I got out of Westmont, you paid your $50 for the season or whatever, and you pay half a game. It didn't matter. It wasn't like, and then as I, got through different sports, I'm bumping into like baseball, and it was like, 1 inning and 1 at bat. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How is anybody going to improve, right? So then I kept going back to basketball and the boys club, because pay your $50 and everybody pays a half a game. And then that's what's called coaching. You got to get the right kids and the right time and everything like that. And then, it's changed now, but back during my kids' tenure, and I don't care how much you're screaming, because I'm like, guys, none of you guys, I know one person, okay, that made it in the MLB out of all those kids, okay, that went through the programs. It's just like, everybody has big dreams. You know what I'm talking about, MB. So,
you're hitting the nail right on the head.
So
it's what it's all about. Want to make sure everybody has a place to play.
That's right.
And everybody's valued. And what I will say about your generation, that's fantastic, is you guys aren't going to stand for this. You're not.
I hope not.
No, you won't. You're already proving it. And your change is happening because of your generation. It's just not acceptable anymore. And shame on generations before that allowed it to be acceptable. It's not. It's not right. And so I applaud you. Keep doing what you're doing. And we're gonna make sure that everybody has a safe place to go.
Yeah.
We keep moving right along, pushing the evolution of our strange species, and
that's it.
Onward we go.
Yeah, well, it's fun watching you guys. Let me tell you, because our generations did everything we could to mess it up. That's all I'll say right now. Okay, let's take a break. All right, let's drink water now. I'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
I talked to Brian before he got here today.
Yep.
And I love this guy. Brian, I love you like my little brother. I know I do. But listen, we've gone through a lot, and Terry's been doing this, and I need you to do this too. Like when you're still motoring along here in Santa Barbara, and I feel like a lot of the spirit is getting back into the body, but then I can look at people too, and we're not all there. We got a couple of minutes now. What are the little things that you do to keep yourself so grounded and centered? Because you're like the most balanced, centered, grounded person I've ever met in my whole life. Like what little things?
You don't know all the parts of me. Just to be honest about that, I don't know that any one person is ever totally balanced, because we're always kind of in flux, just like the earth is, But the best we can do is keep paying attention to how our body feels, how our emotions are, what's going on around us. For me, it's stretching and yoga, gardening, the ocean, surfing. sports, things that get me back in my body, because I have an intellectual side that I tend to get lost in books and thinking. So those really simple things, massages, giving and receiving massages, touch, a lot of touch. I think our culture lacks a lot of touch. So getting back to hugging and hugging longer. I learned that in Brazil. People would hug for a really long time to the point of kind of uncomfortableness. But those kinds of things, it really helps to get you back in your body, feeling like a human being, like an animal in a good way, and those are the little things I do. So
bringing play in.
Yeah,
find
jumping around, playing, jump rope. I mean, getting there with the kids. I mean, if you can go volunteer and be like a kid, remember what that was like to roll down hills or spin around for no reason. I mean, most adults have lost that, and there's something very important in that. It's not just frivolous, but there's something very healthy about that, of just being spontaneous, not dancing for the right steps, but just moving around like a dork.
I've shared so many feelings with my friends and stuff that because you go through the day, you're on track, and you do the 8 to 5, 8 to 5, 8 to 5, and then friends come and go. They're not like during the week or whatever, and you want to grab a lunch or breakfast. But I have totally made time now to tell how I felt about every single person,
Good.
because they do mean things to me, and it's the reaction you get back is like, whoa, are you sick or something? Do you have a fever? No, I'm fine.
No, it's good, especially in our passive Southern California culture. Just being direct and sometimes sharing can be helpful.
Right. Little love, Santa Barbara. Hey, make it a great day today. Be kind. Santa Barbara is strong. See you next week.